Welcome back to season 2 of Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. Tonight we have a special guest. New, we just made an announcement on Facebook and all the other places in the interwebs. We joined Crown Home Mortgage, and we have the founder, king, whatever it would
Not
be.
a king, just a co-founder.
The founder, co-founder of Crown Home Mortgage, Rick Riddle, here with us for tonight. Rick, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me. I'm just happy to be part of season 2. I thought it got canceled. I was hoping it got repicked up.
We were doing the little hiatus thing, you know what I mean? Make them want more.
It's like Game of Thrones, a year and a half in between production.
Kind of first one's free kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Keep them wanting it, you know.
And that will be a pay-per-view special this time.
Yeah. Pretty soon we're dribbling it in, and we have some awesome stuff. I don't even know if you know exactly all the things about it that we were talking to Al about. I don't know. We had the framework. Our plan is to have realtors that pick their neighborhood and do a weekly update, about 90 seconds. Hey, my neighborhood is blah, blah, blah. This week we had 3 new listings, average marketing time is here, blah, blah, blah. And put that together, 3, 4, 5 geographically similar places together, bulk them up, and send them out in updates so that they can have their exclusive neighborhoods. We target realtors that are a little camera shy, that need a little push, want to do something small, not go crazy and be Instagram famous, but do little things. And we had got the infrastructure set up before and didn't have the backbone to execute it. And when Al came down, he loved it, and he was like, this is going to be my baby. And so March 1st-ish, March 14th-ish maybe. I'm always a little optimistic when I give dates.
Tomorrow.
We're
not tomorrow we're going to have it.
By the time this gets out, it might be tomorrow, but...
Tomorrow's always a day away.
Yeah, the sun will come out. We're going to be announcing a lot of stuff that we're doing with Crown. But before we get too deep into that, I would like you to tell everyone kind of the inspiration, because in the back burner, I was a witness to Crown. But tell everybody kind of like how you came up with the idea and what happened.
So, thank you. We are literally a group of we're a company that is built by loan officers for loan officers. And every single co-founder, executive, top producer was all realtor based, right? And we've always said, you know what we want to be different in the marketplace from the standpoint of, we understand how emotional real estate purchase is, and we understand that a lot of real estate purchases need money.
Sure.
But we want to be viewed differently than the end of the transaction. We want to help sell real estate. So one of our taglines, we help sell real estate no matter what it is in the transaction. And whether it's helping realtors market themselves, that's why this is a great synergy, whether it's coming up with unique products to help customers, whether it's education for customers, whether it's marketing for customers, whether it's working with sellers. We know when a buyer and a seller unite, a little bell rings, and we want to be the ones to help to ring the bell. So that's kind of was our vision. Obviously we've been in the game together for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And we've known each other for a long time, and we came from other companies. We just learned, let's take what we've learned throughout the years and build a cool company. And one thing that we're very focused on is culture, right? I don't think that we don't know the answers. It's not Rick Riddle's company, right? I'm not the king. I'm the servant. I'm just here to, it was funny. Our original concept of Crown was nobody has titles. Underwriters, closers, processors, loan officers, me, CFOs, no one had a title. Because the customer is the royalty. It's really the royalty, and we want to treat the customers and the real estate agents as royalty. Kind of hard to practice, because it's hard to say, who's that person? Oh, that's the person that actually takes your docs and sends them to a person that makes a decision that then, you mean the processor? Oh no, we don't have titles. Right. So we
theoretically, it sounded really good.
But, there's a lot of things we do. We put a lot of effort into culture, right? And I think it's important because a lot of companies, there's this silo of salespeople, there's silos of processors, there's silos of underwriters, a silo of closers. And all 4 of those silos are very important in the mortgage process, right? the realtor and the customer have the better experience when there's not silos. So we've spent a lot of time and effort to lower those silos. Look, processors have a really hard job. Underwriters have a really hard job. Closers have a really hard job.
Sure.
Salespeople probably have a hard job. No one has a harder job, just
Right.
a different job. So we all work together, and my operational people behind sales are, I truly believe, are as focused in success as the loan officer. They want to get the deals to the closing table just as much. And there's no such words as "that's not my job" and pass it down the line. And that takes a lot of work, right? Cultures. Everybody wants a good culture company.
Yeah, it's a buzzword. A lot of people use it, but not. I
It's
honestly get a little apprehensive when I hear somebody say, "Oh, we're a culture company," because I feel like what you're really saying is, I'm going to try and bullshit you and make you think there's something here, and we're going to set up these expectations. But when you said it, because I knew you and I knew where you came from, it wasn't like a sales pitch. It was like, oh, that's refreshing. He really believes it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. First of all, you're right. Look, every company has culture.
Right.
Might not be conducive to sales or conducive to what you're looking for. We kind of wanted to be the backbone of culture, meaning we wanted to. I've been in the business for a long time, right? And I know a lot. The two things I know, I don't know it all.
Right.
And I know it changes.
Right.
Right. And I know that I can learn from you. You know, I also know that you can learn from my branch manager in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Sure.
My Raleigh, North Carolina manager can learn from the processor up in Plattsburgh, New York. Right. So there's a lot of synergy there. Right. So I also know the obstacles in Tampa, Florida, the same obstacles as they are in Voorhees, as the same obstacles they are in Rutherford, New Jersey.
Right.
So let's peel away the onion together and let's come up with the solutions together. And I think it sounds kumbaya a little bit. But I really wanted to build a company that those synergies work together, and it's something that I have a business coach, and I think every person should have a coach. And one thing I've struggled with is how do I become bigger without losing that culture? Because it's important to me, and I have intimate is a funny word. I don't know if I can say it. I'm Mr. Mortgage's neighborhood, but.
Just as long as there's no 5-year-olds next to you when you're saying it.
I have an intimate relationship with all my managers, right? And I try to get an even deeper relation, just as deep with my every loan officer, every employee in our company. It gets harder as you build. So, but by over communicating and building that culture and building camaraderie and building teamwork and that's how you build a great company.
Yeah.
And it's not I've kind of changed my thought. I don't want to be the biggest company. I want to be the best.
Yeah.
And best, I want to have the right people. And that's what makes our company different.
I was on the first, it wasn't even us, it was the parent company, with Matt.
Yeah.
The first branch manager's call that I was a part of. And I was blown away by the topics of conversation from the owner of the company.
Yeah.
Like, for him to say, what's going on? What's the word on the street? What are you struggling with? How can we help you be better?
Yeah.
Like, and he wasn't impressing me. He wasn't saying it because, there's a new guy on here. There was 77 people or whatever on the call. He don't care.
Right.
That's just how he was. And I was really impressed by that. And then we had another call that I was a part of with your branch managers and actually all the employees. It was just all the originators.
Yeah.
When I was
and some all employees invited that.
And it was very refreshing to feel. I've always had a thought process. I don't know why people make it harder than it is. Like, we all know what sucks. Don't suck. You know what I mean? Like, you all worked for someone who was a horrible boss. You all had a job that you hated waking up and going to. Just do stuff that doesn't suck. And it really isn't that hard. You know what I mean? If you keep that in mind all the time, you know what it's like to be talked down to. Don't talk down to somebody. Right. You know what it's like to be minimized, or you know what it's like to be marginalized by somebody. You know what it's like to be part of a team and feel like the person on the other end of the phone is not really on your team. The ops versus sales thing. You know what that's like, so don't do that. Yep. If you have an underwriter that you have a disagreement with, when you're done having the disagreement with them, thank them.
Right.
Be nice to them. Let them know, I appreciate you. We're on the same team. It takes like 15 seconds, but it builds that type of camaraderie
100%.
and culture where it's not hanging up and going, man, she don't want to approve my loans. But like I worked for a company, and that was the worst feeling to be at a place where you didn't feel like we were all on the same team, even though the check came from the same place.
And it's not easy, right? It really is not. Like we put a lot of, like you said, the word culture, it could be, but you put a lot of time and effort, right? We spend a lot of time making sure those silo walls are broken, right? That there's open communication, and a lot of it is rah foo stuff, right? But it's important, right?
Sure.
It's like the company picnics, it's the company trips, it's the company triple play. It's like we invite our operational people. I invite underwriters to networking real estate events, right? Because I want them to see, right?
It's only rah foo to people that don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you do it, it seems like the most awesome thing in the world. It doesn't feel rah foo when you're a part of it. It feels rah foo when you're an observer from the outside and you see people doing it. And you're like, this is crazy whack cult stuff. What's going on? But when you're a part of it and you feel like you're one of them, it doesn't feel like that when you're in the middle of it, which is awesome. I like that.
I consider all my branch managers my friends.
Yeah.
And I want to build a company of friends.
Sure.
And honestly, if we don't like each other, we're probably not the right fit.
Yeah.
Right. And look, we disagree. I'm not saying we don't argue or disagree or come to, but at the end we have a mutual respect. And I've never pulled the I'm your boss, do what I say. Like that's not the way.
You got Cowboys fans and Giants fans in here.
There are some Cowboy fans they could leave. But, if I'm being honest. But that's all. Football season's over.
Right.
We'll worry about that. We'll worry about that a year from now. But it's the other thing that I think is important is also I kind of drew a blank, but it's like I don't know. I forgot. You threw me on the Cowboys.
I threw you off your game with the old football talk.
You got me.
But like I said, it's really I was impressed, and I really didn't know because in all reality, when I said the rah foo stuff is that way from the outside, I didn't really know. I've had a conversation with Matt, but I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But I saw Matt from the outside 2 years ago at Triple Play, and I thought, this is rah foo silly stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
that's what we're doing. The game.
This is a persona that he's putting on. He's not really like that. He must look, just be on. He had a microphone in his hand and he was on stage and he was doing the stuff in the middle of the thing and Triple Play. And I'm like, I wonder what that dude's really like when he's not.
Yeah. I have a funny story about him.
This character,
Our first office, Hackettstown, New Jersey, is Crown's first office, and I don't even think I was officially over yet. One of my partners was over. It was our first office, and I'd met Matt a couple times. I come in, and no lie, I see Matt's plumber's butt underneath a table running cable.
Yeah.
CEO of the company.
Yeah.
Owner. Running cable.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why you're like, this is a different company, right? And I think that the two things that make us different. One, everyone's rolling up their sleeve. Right? And I look at other companies and I don't want to say the downfall, but when they start to lose culture, they stop working. I'm in the business, right? I'm not sitting with a customer every day.
The further they get away from that,
they lose being grounded.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the other thing that I call it vision, right? It's like loyalty, and I don't want to say loyal servants or anything but loyalty is when an employee's vision and employer's vision are aligned.
Yeah.
And at the very least, an employer should know the employee's vision, right? And look, I'm not perfect, right? I've lost people that throughout my working life that I'm like, huh. And if you're surprised, if you don't know why, it's because you lost their vision. You don't know your vision and their vision either didn't align, but at least you knew it,
right?
Or you didn't know what their vision was. And I kind of learned that, and that's something I take at heart. Is like, I want to know every employee's vision. Right?
Yeah.
What do they want to be? Yeah. Where do they want to? Do you want to be an expert in reverse mortgages? Do you want to be an expert in commercial loans? Do you want to do fix and flips? Do you want to be a real, own Voorhees, New Jersey, right? You want to have 30 loan officers. You want to have whatever it is.
Sure.
Then we'll work together in your vision. May not be easy. Maybe, I'm not the person that's going to do the work for you, but I need to help that person achieve their vision.
Yeah.
And I think if we can do that in every single market area, that's how we become the best.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not the biggest, but to be the best.
I like it. And you guys also have an incredible grasp of technology and vision for the future in a technological sense, I guess. Like I was really impressed, not just by Matt's resume, because he's done a lot of really impressive things with technology in the mortgage industry, but just like the way on the call that he was there, he was talking about the AI and the bot and all these different things. And I was like, that forward type thinking, like Spencer Johnson's book, Who Moved My Cheese. If you're not the one that's thinking where it's going to be next, you're already too far behind. Yeah. If you're worried about what's going on right this minute in the industry, you're about to be in the back. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was really impressed with talking to you guys and all the things that you're looking at. And, we're going to have the kiosks and a couple other things, and just like really stuff that separates you, because we're in Mortgage Central around here. You know what I mean? Like literally most of my employees have to drive by 15 mortgage companies on their way to work. Most of the realtors have to talk to 27 mortgage people when they go out to a networking event or whatever. So if you're not literally better than, and you don't have a vision that's better than other people, then you're just another face in the crowd. Then you got to really be a tap dancing schmoozer,
It's funny. It's funny, and so we Crown Home Mortgage, right? As you know, and we're not our own mortgage company,
right?
We are a self-standing division of Absolute Home Mortgage. Right. Our original vision was to open our own mortgage company, and it's funny when we originally met with Matt, he said, "You know what? Let us be your spaceship for a couple of years, and when you're ready to break off, we'll help you break off." And he meant that. I realized I don't want to own a mortgage company.
Yeah.
I don't want to. That is.
It's one of those things that sounds really good until you get into it, and you're like, "No, let me let somebody else do that."
Right. But what I learned is the partnership with Matt is he is a tech guy. Mm-hmm. I know tech's important, right? I know that and more importantly than that, his vision, and he was a loan officer. Yeah. He was a big producing loan officer that is a geek, is a nerd, right? And I hope he watches this.
Yeah.
So because he knows I call him a nerd.
I think he's proud of that.
He is.
I think he brags that. Yeah.
But his vision is, he goes, our competition 10 years from now isn't, and I'll name some competitors, isn't AnnieMac, isn't Family First, isn't Green Tree. It's you know what our competition is? Our threats? Amazon, Rocket, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
It's technology.
Yeah.
Right? And because of that, some of our greatest people are our loan officers. It's tough, and I will tell you, if you're a customer watching, you need someone to hold your hand, right? We know how hard it is to understand the mortgage business, understand the right product, and as a realtor, you need to partner with somebody that thinks that way, right? That knows the business and knows the market. But those are our threats, and we need to use technology not to get away from that interpersonal and those relationships, but to lower our manufacturing cost.
Right.
Because the only way that we can do what we do best is to lower our manufacturing costs by using technology so we can spend more money on marketing and advertising and working with realtors and creating, things like this, relationships like this, right? And that's where Matt kind of opened his eyes, like, that's why I do it. Right, believe it or not, the average cost is a Fannie Mae published average cost to produce a loan, not commission. So these lights, this fancy, you buying the set of
this couch and all
this couch, you buying Mr. Rogers'
stoplight here, jeez.
Right? But infrastructure, operational people, right, compliant, all that stuff costs about. Fannie Mae average is $2,300 to $2,600 a loan, and that was actually a while ago. It's probably gone up recently.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
We're under 1,000, right? Why? Because of technology. My underwriters can touch more loans. My processors can process more loans because we have a back-end technology. Our new point of sale that's going to happen, now you as a loan officer can handle more loans, right? And that's where technology is important, right? We know the importance of face-to-face. We know the importance of building relationships. We know the importance of belly-to-belly. We know the importance of caring for our customers. They're not a number.
Yeah.
But I got to lower my technology costs so I can touch more people. And that's kind of his vision became our vision. And that's why we not only launched into a spaceship next to it to ride onto, but we're probably stuck here for life.
You're still there, yeah.
You know.
Cool. So one of the things that I always ask people is, Give me a vision of where you're going to be in 2 years, both you personally and Crown as a business.
So that's a great question. 2 years is not a long enough time, but I'll take it. That's a slam dunk. I'll be here. I'm going to be in Mr. Mortgage's neighborhood.
Okay.
No, you know what? I was in another office earlier this morning. We did a SWOT analysis. We talked about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I said, I am passionate about this business. It's the only business, not the only business I know. I've been in this business for 25 years. I can't give up. Right? And I like building and growing things. So I see Crown personally doing about $1 billion a year. Right now we're doing about 500-600. It's about doubling our size.
Okay.
I can't tell you where. I don't mean if I'm a secret. I can't tell you where because it's about finding the right people. Mm-hmm. Right. If I have the right person in Kansas, we're going to open up a branch in Kansas. If I have the wrong person that does $100 million, but it's not the right fit, I don't want to bring them on. So it's not about the number; it's about doing it with the right people. But I do see us growing. We right now have an office all the way in Plattsburgh, New York, all the way down to West Palm Beach, Florida. 25 locations. I see it's doubling that number.
Primarily East Coast so far?
I would say primarily East Coast.
Okay. Do you have a California branch or?
We don't. But you know what? If a great person I talk to, I'm not, I didn't have a branch in Maryland and Delaware until I found the right people. I didn't have an office in New York until I found the right person, right? We kind of got lucky in Florida, and now we have 4 or 5 branches in Florida.
Right.
So I do see that. I see that growing because I think our overall package benefits realtors, it benefits loan officers, and it benefits branches.
Yeah.
And I truly believe it, right? It's not a sales pitch. I truly believe. And I think part of it is because me and my partners roll up our sleeves and go to work very hard.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing in 2 years.
5 years?
I don't see it changing in 5 years.
Okay, I like that.
My end strategy is...
You only got 5 years from me. I'm telling you right now.
All right.
5 years. After 5 years, there's going to be Mr. Mortgage's heir apparent.
There you go. Well, then maybe I'll get lucky enough to don the red sweater. And ultimately is to build something that has meaning.
Yeah.
That there can be a legacy piece, right? That the people that the forefathers and they're still on the ground floor, right? Mm-hmm. We're new. Actually, we're not in 2019.
That's still kind of new.
4 years, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be our 4-year anniversary, end of February. Holy moly, March 1st. You know what? We're growing something bigger, and I think that we're going to be able to build something that I hope that my daughter is 23. She's not getting in the mortgage business. I don't know if your kids are going to get in the mortgage business.
I doubt it.
But something that we can be proud of, and I think that's a 10-year vision.
Yeah.
Okay. I got 10 more years.
10 more years.
I'll come visit you in your old folks' home in 5 years.
Well, now that we had a new addition to the property, I may have to extend
20 years.
That, well, not 20 years, but maybe go from 55 to 60 for my semi-retirement. I don't think I'll ever retire. You know what I mean? I talk about it with these guys because I'm honest with stuff. I don't see myself working 60 hours a week in 7 years. I don't think I'll ever stop writing loans or get out of the mortgage industry. I'll probably do a little bit more, if it all worked out for me, do a little bit more of the CEO schmoozing type stuff and less of the originating, less of the...
And you know what? And it's... Growth is by building, right? And if you're a loan officer, it's about building relationships.
Yeah.
Right? As a manager... And it's funny, a lot of companies take great loan officers and make them managers. It's
horrible.
Really, it's right.
Horrible.
Great managers sacrifice for their people.
Right.
Right. They become there's a book called The Go Giver. Right. You really become a servant. Our best managers are servant leaders. Mm-hmm. Right. And we forego a lot of things for that, but it is part of building. Right.
Sure.
It's maybe getting out of the daily grind. Part of it is that business development, right? The schmoozing and building relationships is part of what we do to help our loan officers.
Sure.
Right?
I love that nurturing aspect.
Right.
That's why I love having kids. You know what I mean? I love growing and development. I love taking someone with a little bit of talent and some motivation and seeing them go 3 years into it and start to really kick it, and I enjoy that way more than I enjoy. I've closed whatever, $7-10 million in a month and got a really big paycheck.
Right.
That never felt as good as the glimmer in the new person's eye when they get their first check, and then they're like,
I agree 100%. Look, you and I have been in this game a long time, and it's a business we love.
Yeah.
We want the people, we want the next generation and the generation after that to love the business like we love it. I also think that to your point, and I all of a sudden lost the point because I'm enamored by being on the set of Mr. Morgan. I think that it's how you build. It's if we can help that next generation, right? This was my point. Sales and our business and sales and entrepreneurship is the greatest pyramid scheme. I work in a pyramid scheme.
Sure.
Right?
I argue with people all the time when they're like, oh, that's a pyramid. I'm like, everything I've ever done, a part of it, I had somebody above me who got paid, who had somebody above them who got paid, and if you keep nurturing and you keep growing a team, it goes down and down and down.
And you know what? Pyramid schemes aren't like there's a negative connotation to it, but we want the next pyramid scheme, not a scheme. I want to have, luckily in this scenario, I'm at the top of the pyramid scheme. Actually, I'm not. Matt is at the top of the pyramid scheme, Matt and his partners. But at the end of the day, I want to build, 20 to 40 great branches, and I want my 20 to 40 great branches to have, 5 or 6 sales managers, and those 5 or 6 sales managers have, 4 or 5 loan officers, and those 4 or 5 loan officers have loan partners, right? And that's the scheme, right? And we have, that's kind of my vision. But I will tell you, I have branches up and down the East Coast that have different vision, right? And one branch, he makes it rain, and he's got 2 loan partners. All the loans go in his name, and he's got 2 great loan partners that are licensed that help him with that vision. I've got others like this branch right here that you've got a team, and you're building and growing, and you have loan officers. You're doing training, and there's no wrong answer, right? It's how do I help that person? How do I help you, right? And I will tell you one thing, just sort of people that think that there's something great at the top of the pyramid scheme. It's not great. No. But, there's a lot of work and a lot of effort. But
heavy is the head that wears the crown.
There you go.
I mean, that's the truth.
But you know what it is? It's what I choose to do. Right?
Absolutely.
And I have such a passion of helping everybody through the thing. And it's also part of my weakness is how do I scale it, right? It's how do I make sure that there's enough of Rick Riddle to go around for everyone to be happy. And how I do that is by having great gym butzes.
Great teammates. Awesome.
All the way through. So.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do our personal question because we always finish with a personal question. And you're a sports guy, so I don't really want to do... Yeah, I'll do the sports question. All right. You wake up tomorrow morning, and there's a fairy that comes to visit you and says, you can go witness any sporting event that happened throughout history, and you can bring one person with you. What event do you want to go rewatch, and who are you going to take with you?
Wow. Honestly, it was the Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there, so I would have liked to have been there. Actually, you know what? It was the 04 Super Bowl.
Okay.
It was the 04 Super Bowl. I can change the course of history. I can change.
No, you just rewatch it.
Then it's not the 04 Super Bowl.
You just get to be there and witness it happen.
Honestly, it's already happened. It's the 2017 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With my girlfriend Megan. To be honest with you,
you were there.
No, we were at Dave and Buster's in Philly.
Okay.
And the minute they won, we went to Broad Street.
All right.
The only thing I would have done differently is I would have been there.
Yeah.
Like at the stadium.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
See it live.
Minnesota.
It's kind of rough. All right, now I'm going to do the music question too. All right, so you can have one artist come to your house and play 2 songs. Who would the artist be, and what would the 2 songs be? I'm cheating with 2 personal questions here.
I'm that special. Yeah. That's a great question. And I guess it would have to be the Beatles.
Okay.
And I guess I would pick Hey Jude and Let It Be.
Awesome. Rick, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the next guest on Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. Welcome back, boys and girls. Our next guest is John Zagone. John, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you very much.
Welcome
Pleasure.
to the neighborhood as an employee now. You know, funny story. What a small world it is. John and I play hockey together, and one of the guys I did a mortgage for was sitting there, and for some reason, you and I had never really talked. We played against each other for a couple of years, and we never really, not in a bad way. We didn't fight or anything like that, but we just didn't really talk a lot. And Scott was like, "Oh yeah, this is my guy that does mortgages," and you were like, "Oh, I was in the mortgage industry for so long," and we just started talking, and I was like, "Oh, this seems like it makes sense."
Rest is history, right?
The rest is.
Here we are.
So, talk a little bit about your previous life in the mortgage industry and your experience and how you got to this part of your journey. You know?
Yeah, so I was actually out of college. I was a sports writer over at the Gloucester County Times, and I did that for a while. I really enjoyed that. Afterwards, I went back to get my history minor and became a teacher for a little while, and then just decided it was time to get out of that industry and wanted to do something new. I took an interview with a mortgage company, kind of out of the blue. Didn't even really think anything about mortgages, and really I hit it off with the interviewer and just thought, hey, maybe this is something that I would enjoy doing. And it turned out that I had a talent for it and was able to pass the test quickly, and something that I really enjoy. It's a lot like teaching. It's a lot like sports writing. Get an opportunity to help people, get an opportunity to help them, kind of see their dreams, and really is something that I love doing. And
it kind of seems like polar opposites of like sports writer,
right?
History teacher, mortgage loan officer.
Yeah, and at first I thought that, but then once I started to do it, it kind of is the same because a lot of people in the mortgage industry, we get an opportunity to teach our clients about the mortgage. Not a lot of people are, it's not something that they do a lot in their lifetime, maybe one or two or three times. So we get to really teach them, and I enjoy doing that. I enjoy helping people.
Our school system is not really good at teaching simple interest versus compound interest and why loans are, why so much interest is there when someone's like, I borrowed this money 2 years ago and I paid $2,000 a month. Why do I only owe $1,000 less than I borrowed?
Exactly.
All that stuff. So you get to educate. Mm-hmm. And you have done primarily the call side of things, helping people out, mostly refinances, helping people with their, their bills and budgeting and all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
How does that differ from what we plan on doing and all the stuff that we're looking for?
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to doing that as well. It was something that I really enjoyed doing. When you're doing cash out refinance especially, it's really all about putting your clients in a better position financially so they can enjoy their lives. A lot of people in this country run into trouble financially, where it's credit card debt, car loans, personal loans, whatever it is, and a lot of people don't realize that the equity in their home can really help them get out of a bad situation, kind of give them a fresh start. And that's what I really enjoy doing, helping people get a fresh start. It's going to be different than what I'm doing now, because now we're going to be really focusing on the purchase side as well. I'll still do the cash out refinance. Definitely willing to help anybody out who wants to do that. Sure. But if you're looking to purchase a home, that's something I'm looking forward to, because now I get to kind of delve into that, which would be awesome.
And at your last job, you were licensed in a bunch of different states. So that's one of the things that I did a long time ago, but I haven't done it for a while. Talk a little bit about how difficult it is to get somebody in Topeka, Kansas to trust John in Jersey or John somewhere. How do you build that rapport? How do you get over that wall? Because there is a whole lot of distrust and there is a whole lot of stuff in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, it's just basically talking to the client, letting you know that you're there for them, trying to understand their situation. Really, it's all about listening, especially if they're the ones who are initiating the call and they're in need of some kind of help, listening to what you can do for them. And once they know that you're there for them, once they know that you care about their situation, then it's a lot easier to build that trust and help them out and build that rapport.
Nice. Do you have a client or two that stick out in your mind that you were able to get to a certain point of their life or help them out of a certain situation that you can remember, like specifically? Or
Yeah, there was always one. I don't remember the name, but I always remember the number. And this was about 3 years ago or so. They were just drowning in credit card debt and personal loans. And we worked up the cash out refinance, and it ended up that we were saving them $2,700 a month.
Yeah.
And
people don't believe when you say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you tell somebody, I saved them $2,700 a month, people are like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But they don't realize, 34% credit card interest and these payday loans and these other, 47% overcapitalized loans and pay this fee. People don't realize how much it really is, because most people don't get into debt as an event. Most people get into that as a process. It starts here, it hurts, and it gets to be so bad and so negative that you don't want to look at it. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Exactly.
like there's a lot of people that if you have a bump on your knee, most people are just like, I'm going to ignore that until it gets to be a big old Mike's Hard Lemonade head.
Almost like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
If I'm not thinking about it, then I don't have to worry about it. But then, one credit card kind of leads to another, and then all of a sudden you're in that debt. And it was just awesome to be able to help them out and really not only give them a fresh start, but it's kind of life changing when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think you're looking forward to the most about doing more of a face-to-face sale or face-to-face business plan as opposed to always on the phone?
Yeah, so the number one thing is I just love meeting new people, and this is going to be a great way to actually build those relationships. Talking to someone over the phone is great, but you don't get that face-to-face. You don't get to shake hands and really have that experience where you're getting to know someone on a personal level. So I'm looking forward to doing that a little bit more and really getting to meet the people whose lives I change and help.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, outside of the mortgage industry and outside of your job, what do you do to be a better person? What do you do with your free time? What does John do outside of the 9 to 5? What do you do to warm your heart or your spirit or whatever it is?
Yeah, so I have 4 kids, so I'm pretty busy, obviously, with that. And they're a little bit grown now. But back in the day, I used to coach all their teams, which I used to always love. Not only my kids, but all the kids in the community as well. Big into sports, so I coach softball, basketball, football, baseball, soccer at one point too. So I kind of did it all, and I love doing that. That's something that I love giving back. And when I was a teacher, I also coached high school football and high school softball as well. So I really love being a positive influence in children's lives as well.
And your youngest daughter is the high school basketball player right now?
Yeah, my youngest daughter right now, she's a junior in high school. She's one of the top players in all of South Jersey.
Yeah, she scored 47 points the other night. We saw that.
Yeah, broke the school record.
Yeah, that's
points.
more than Chris Stryker scored his whole career in basketball. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Yeah. How is that because I'm a sports guy and my kids never really played sports, and I'm kind of glad because I never knew how I would be. How is it watching your kid play and being emotionally invested in it and not be a flaming jerk?
So it's a lot more nerve-wracking than actually, like you said, we play hockey together. So, I grew up my whole life. I played baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. And I was never nervous playing, but watching her play, it's so much more nerve-wracking. And so it's just awesome to be able to watch her play, but it's the nerves that are going through that I've never felt before. My son, my oldest son, he's in college now. He was also a quarterback, and it was the same thing watching him. You just get so nervous, and it's just a different feeling than when you're actually playing.
Any kids ever get hurt while you were watching them play, even like minor hurt, maybe break a bone, something like that? I can't imagine watching. That's what I was thinking when the dude from the NFL got hit. I was thinking his parents are there, his mom is there watching. How could you watch an injury? Did you ever have to go through any of that?
I mean, luckily so far, I haven't really had to go through that. Knock on wood, right there. My son obviously being a quarterback, got hit a couple of times. Sure. But it was nothing serious. So hopefully, my daughter's twisted her ankle numerous times, but anything that's been, that we had to really worry about.
Nice. I have a friend of mine whose daughter is a D1 soccer player, and she's going through just this year her second ACL
Oh my God.
tear,
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
the
had to
worst.
go through like helping her rehab and doing all this stuff, and now she's going to do it again for the second time. And I just think like I don't know how. I would be selfish, and of course it's horrible for the kid to go through it, but I don't know. And even on the other side of it, I watch parents who get way too involved in it, and sometimes I think, man, that guy's a jerk, and other times I think, yeah, I probably would have said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, when the kids were a lot younger, I was probably a lot more energetic. Let's use that. But as they've gotten older, I've kind of learned that it's all going to be all right. And kind of.
Jerry, did you ever get thrown out of any games by the umpire or anything like that?
No. Thanks. I was close a couple of times, but never actually got
Never actually
ejected.
thrown out. Nice, that's awesome.
But that was years ago before they before they grew up, and then I calmed down a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, we're going to finish off with your personal question.
Mm-hmm.
I know sports, so we're going to go music with you.
Okay.
All right, you can have any musician, band, whatever, come to your house this weekend
Wow.
and play 2 songs. Who's the person or the group, and what are the 2 songs that you want them to play?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I'm not a huge music guy. Like, I don't have one genre. I kind of like a little bit of everything. I have a saying that I like stuff that's great, but I'm the one who says whether it's great or not.
Sure.
Eminem has always been my favorite.
Okay.
Lose Yourself is a song that I always play before a hockey game.
I love it. I love it.
So that's one. And then I'm going to go a little bit different. How about I Got Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks.
Okay.
So see, kind of on one.
That's the up and the down.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
like it. I
So
like
I'm
it.
all over the place when it comes to music.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, John.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Looking forward to doing some things and experiencing this mortgage business with you. And that'll do it for this week's episode of Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. We'll be back for week 2 of the second season next week. We have 4 guests coming in, and really looking forward to this.